the United States and China, and of course, lots of other countries must cooperate even as they're competing. And here are some of the big issues, right? Obviously, ending the current pandemic, and very importantly, preparing for future ones. You should remember that we have that COVID-19 is just the latest in a series of pandemics or potential pandemic. What that tells you is that what we're going through now could easily happen again in the future, and we need to be better prepared for it. Climate change, obviously an imperative, arguably the most important single one on this list. Improving nuclear security in a variety of ways, given the continued existence of weapons of mass destruction. The global trade regime, think of it as the World Trade Organization, et cetera, is it badly in need of reform? I think this is widely acknowledged, and that's an area where you need agreement with others in order to do it. And then finally, negotiating some rules of the road for cyberspace, where really rules barely exist at this point, and where the United States, China, Europe, and others don't yet see eye to eye on what those rules actually ought to be. But trying to develop them is obviously in everybody's interest. Biden has said that America is back, that the policies that were followed under Trump, he wants to reverse, and he wants to restore America's place at the head of the table. And I think that's a revealing phrase. He's not just saying the United States is back, wants to collaborate with others. He's saying the United States is back and it's prepared to lead again. The problem here is twofold. First, the United States cannot turn the clock back entirely to 2016. The world has changed in a number of different ways. Some countries are more powerful, some other countries not, but mostly because other states cannot be sure the United States is as reliable as it once was. Yes, President Trump is not president anymore, but it was not that lopsided an election. And nobody around the world can be sure that someone like Trump won't get elected again in 4 years and try to reverse American policy again. And this is the problem the United States is now facing by being so polarized. You get these rapid swings or enormous swings in policy depending on who's in the White House. And other countries are going to have to take that possibility into account. The second problem Biden faces is he has to focus on major issues at home. Obviously, the pandemic, getting the economy restarted, the racial tensions that have been exposed once again in American society, and I think are now being addressed more aggressively than in the past. And then, of course, the deep political divisions, where in some respects, the Republican Party has gone to such an extreme that we're almost not having the same conversation or even seeing the world in the same way anymore. It's a great question, and it's, I think, one of the most vexing questions that people in the foreign policy world face. How do you try to advance a set of values that you believe in strongly, and at the same time take into account all of the other trade-offs that you might be facing, whether it's the economic benefits you might get from a trading relationship with a country whose domestic practices you object to, or how you deal with the security consequences of, say, pressuring an ally to change its behavior as well. And I don't think there is a universal right answer that applies to every circumstances. In some respects, you do have to look at them in a sort of case-by-case way.